Hello everybody and welcome again to lyronara.com, your leading resource for holistic health in North America. And today we're going to talk about Aquatone, the tuning fork for your body. A unique treatment device that can be used very easily by everyone without formal training or knowledge. It's very, very efficient when we're going to go into all the basics, how it's working, all the research that backs it up, over 14 years of research, hundreds of studies. We're going to show you exactly how it works, go through real life scientific data that has been acquired over the years for this device and show you everything you need to know about it. And I'm sure at the end you'll be just as convinced as we are that this amazing device is quite unique and extremely efficient. So let's dive right into it and see what the Aquatone can do for you. So let's start by talking about what the Aquatone is. It's a system that triggers your body's self-healing powers. It does not work on symptoms, but instead it unblocks the blockades in your body through a unique radio wave resonance system that we're going to talk about in depth, of course. And it's a holistic method to restore your health, to prevent diseases also, and to even slow your aging process. And it's based on the fact that our body consists of about 75% cellular and extracellular water, and that those water molecules resonate in a beneficial manner with certain frequencies or waves. It's very safe and easy to use. You don't need any training. It's extremely affordable and can be used anywhere without a power supply. It's battery powered. It's simple and very effective, as proven by hundreds of studies that we're going to have a look at. And it has zero side effects or risk, and the therapy is non-intrusive. So as we mentioned, the Aquatone is based on radio waves and the resonance those radio waves create with the water molecules in your body. And to give you an image of what this means, you see here a deformed snowflake before, or the crystalline structure of the snowflake, that is of course consisting of water before Aquatone application, and how perfectly symmetrical it becomes on the right after the application of the radio wave resonance through the Aquatone. And this is exactly how this system works also in your body. It reclusters and aligns the water molecules so that all the blockades are released in your body, and your body can trigger its own self-healing powers. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about what radio waves are. And here on the right you can see a chart with all the wavelengths, and you can see the radio waves at the very beginning. So they are very low frequency waves that are not interfering in any negative way with your body. They are electromagnetic waves, of course, with wavelengths longer than infrared waves. And the frequencies are very low, in the ranges of 3 kilohertz up to 300 gigahertz. The corresponding wavelength is 1 millimeter, and at 3 kilohertz is 100 kilometer. Naturally occurring radio waves are made by lightning or by astronomical objects, and the radio waves travel at light speed. They have a very deep penetration in the cells and organs of living beings that are containing, as we mentioned already, over 75% water. And they penetrate into the structure of water also in buildings. Radio waves also synchronize oscillating movements of water clusters. And a cluster is a group of molecules of water consisting of 8 molecules. Radio frequency energy is also used in medicine, for example MRIs and RFAs, and they are used to produce also images of soft tissues, fluid, fat and bone in MRI. This is the principle behind the Aquatone. It works with those radio waves that are very benign. They don't cause any side effects, as they are very low frequency and they penetrate extremely deep and resonate extremely well with the water molecules in your body. So it was some Russian scientists at the end of the 1990s that discovered this language, so to speak, of the body's water molecules with which you can communicate and trigger body's own health corrections as those water molecules vibrate in a certain way with certain frequencies. All metabolic, neurological and biochemical processes taking place in the human body must be in harmony in the presence of those water molecules, and the Aquatone affects all the organs and body parts and restores normal functionality in diseased and damaged systems that are caused by the majority of the known diseases. These results have been also confirmed by over 150 scientific studies. They are still ongoing, some of them, in the last 14 years. And doctors have been consistently confirming the high efficiency of the Aquatone, which can reduce or completely eliminate the diseases and their symptoms. And the versatility of resonance wave therapy can be explained by the common denominator of almost all diseases, which is the abnormal resonances between water molecules in the affected area. And this is what the Aquatone rectifies in a very, very simple way. But it's also like quite clever and intricate at the same time, and resonance wave therapy has been particularly effective in restoring damaged tissue after accidents, also injuries of the musculoskeletal system, burns and radiation injury with painful symptoms. It also strengthens the immune system ability to fight infections and various inflammations, and we're gonna go more in depth into all of its possible applications, show you real life examples and their results on certain conditions. Here you can see the Aquatone devices, the Aquatone 2, the Aquatone 3 and Aquatone 4. All are working on the same basic principle that we talked about of radio wave resonances with the water molecules in your body and realignment and releasing blockades that are occurring in the system there, and they are all very easy to use, as we're going to show you in this presentation. So let's look. But before we go into the applications and all the health conditions that you can treat with the Aquatone, we wanted to mention that there have been many studies, more than 150 scientific works, also clinical trials and ongoing research for human medicine. There are numerous dissertations out there, and there are long-term projects until 2020 throughout Russia and the European Union, and also scientific work conducted at the US Howard University of Medicine. But you can also use it for veterinary applications, for non-pharmacology treatment of inflammations, treatment of ARTHROSIS of bees, and animal recovery of injuries. Those are the fields that have been researched so far. I'm sure there are even more applications, but definitely not only applicable, this technology, to humans, but also to animals, as they also consist mainly of water. So the Aquatone in general can deal with any health conditions, but here are some of the ones that have been researched and where they've been proven already to be very effective. It has anti-tumor effects in vitro, but without the side effects of chemotherapy, for example. It has a very beneficial influence on the process of self-organization of histones, and we're going to explain to you what this is. A very positive effect on the nervous system and our physiological changes. It has also a therapeutic effect in pancreatic diseases, an anti-stress effect. It improves the rheology to restore blood circulation. It's very good at treatment of keratitis and iridocyclitis, which is an eye disease. Prevention of infectious diseases in children, and therapeutic effect in chronic prostatitis. Here are some of the conditions that have been already treated successfully with Aquatone, and this list is of course not exclusive. There are many more, as any health disorder can be unblocked, or the body's own healing powers can be triggered and unlocked through the system. But here are some of the ones that have been already successfully treated with this system: hypertension, bronchitis, pneumonia, COPD and asthma, so lung diseases, and diseases of the bronchs, diseases of the pancreas and thyroid, migraine type diseases like headaches, injuries, burn and abscesses, cervical osteochondrosis, lumbar problems, sciatica, inflammatory diseases of the kidney, depressions, urogenital diseases, neuralgia, intercostal nerve diseases, myositis, swelling and pain, restricted movement of joints and injuries like bruises, sprains and fractures, arthritis of different etiology, allergies, gastritis, duodenitis, peptic ulcer disease, and even recovery from intense workouts. So let's look next at some scientific studies and ongoing research about the Aquatone, and here we look at the Howard University study that looks at the effect of the Aquatone on dehydration and self-organization of the histone H1. What is the histone H1? It's one of the 5 main histone protein families which are components of the chromatin in eukaryotic cells. Even though it is highly conserved, it is nevertheless the most variable histone in sequence across the species. And also we look here at metazoan H1 proteins that feature a central globular domain and long C and short N-terminal tails. H1 is involved with the packing of the beads on a string, so to speak, substructures into a higher ordered structure, whose details have not yet been solved, but you can see here some pictures from a Howard study where the natural state of histone H1 is shown. Above you have the model for the histone H1 and metazoan H1 system, and you can see that it's much more ordered on the left after the Aquatone application, and even the application of a laser on the right bottom didn't yield the same positive results as the Aquatone application. You can see that there's much finer clustering and much more ordered, which is very beneficial. Next, let's look at some of the anti-tumor effects that have been researched in correlation with the Aquatone therapy. It is significantly increasing the anti-tumor effect on cancerous cells when using also the mitoxantrone class drugs. The JUCAT values are going down by 33%, A549 80%, and T47D, those are all cancer cells, by 72%. As you can see also on the graph on the right. Mitoxantrone is used to treat certain types of cancer, mostly metastatic breast cancer, acute myeloid leukemia, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It improves the survival rate of children suffering from acute lymphoblastic leukemia relapse. And the combination of that has been researched here of mitoxantrone and prednisone is approved as a second-line treatment for metastatic hormone-refractory prostate cancer. Until recently, this combination was the first line of treatment. However, a combination of docetaxel and prednisone improves survival rates even more and lengthens the disease-free period. Mitoxantrone is also used to treat multiple sclerosis, most notably the subset of the disease known as secondary progressive MS. Absent for a cure for mitoxantrone is effective in slowing the progression of secondary progressive MS and extending the time between relapses in both relapsing remitting MS and progressive relapsing MS. And what this study found out is that if you combine this already successful classical treatments with mitosantrone class drugs, if you enhance them with an Aquatone treatment on the side, then the results are even better. But those were not the only variables that have been looked upon in Aquatone therapy. It's been proven that there are even more anti-tumor effects. It also accelerates the division of fibroblasts, as we can see in the graph here. This is from a Caroline University study in the US. It inhibits also the growth of prostate tumor, as you can see in the second bar there, quite significantly. Always like the bright red bar is without the Aquatone, and the second one is with the Aquatone, sorry. And on the third set of bars, we can see that it also slows down the growth of melanomas. So again, more positive anti-tumor effects that are connected with the Aquatone. And even more scientifically proven anti-tumor effects. Here we look at connective tissue, tumor cells, necrotic areas, and hemophilia. And you can see that the connective tissue is significantly increased. The tumor cells are significantly decreased from 69.5% in this case to 44.1%. The necrotic areas are also significantly decreased from 19 to only 6%, and hemophilia also from 10% to only about 3.4%. Significant difference here, and again, all this comes from scientific studies. Next, let's look at mitotic activity, and here on the left we see the density of the cells in a visual field, and again, a very nice decrease from without the Aquatone and with the Aquatone. And also we look here in this study at the division of cell nuclei, and it's been also significantly reduced with the Aquatone, which are both very positive effects. And even more anti-tumor research. Here on the left, we see the changing in the number of plasma cells in 2000 cells, and without the Aquatone very low, and with the Aquatone a 7-fold increase, as you can see. And then on the right we look at a change in the number of lymphocytes to approximately 1000 cells, and here again a very significant increase from about 40 to over 120. So more than 3-fold increase, again amazing results. Here we have some research data where they looked at the defensive effects in pulmonary enemas. And here we have a chart showing the liquid in the lungs in percentages. The norm here at about 6%. Without the Aquatone in a diseased lung, so someone with a pulmonary enema, is over 10%, and with the Aquatone it goes even lower than the norm, which is about 6% again, so it's re-establishing the balance very, very nicely. Aquatone has also been proven to increase the flow in the membranes and to improve your blood circulation, as it increases the plasticity of biological fluid, thereby facilitating flow in the membranes of the blood vessels, arteries and capillaries. It also supports transcapillary exchange with less power consumption of the cells and without the increase of blood pressure. It also activates the metabolism, and it facilitates the extraction of energy from water and the water decomposition into H and OH radicals in the blood vessels and capillaries. So it generally improves the blood circulation and the flow in the blood membranes. But Aquatone has also shown its very positive effects on stressful situation. It has a strong anti-stress effect as it regenerates the blood in acute immobilization stress, and here we look at the size and absorbency of the thrombi. Normal without AQ when you're in a stressful situations, and with the Aquatone, and you can see always on the right it's almost back to normal, and significant difference to the stress situation before. Here even more data showing its anti-stress effect. We look here at the dynamic flexibility or toughness, and the regeneration of blood, of course, in acute immobilization stress. And again, we can see that the Aquatone brings it back to almost its normal value, which is again very beneficial, of course. And even more anti-stress related research data. Here we look at the platelet aggregation in acute immobilization stress and the degree and the rate of aggregation. And here again we see that with the Aquatone we go back to normal and even better than normal. And a significant again reduction from the stress levels that you experienced before. So a lot of data on its anti-stress effect, and I can tell you from my own experience it really helps quickly to release stress and realign yourself. And yeah, just try it out. We're gonna look at even more positive effects that have been proven in scientific studies next. For example, the immunological effects. And here we look at the index of the RDs and the index 3F. And on the left it's without the Aquatone, and on the right with Aquatone, and we see here also nice improvements in the immunological effect, which means your whole immune system is becoming stronger. Here we look at increases in the index at all stages of phagocytosis. It's in percentile, and here we see the effects or the results after 1 hour, 3 hours, and 6 hours. And again, a significant increase or improvement in the phagocytosis index all over the range. In the end, after 6 hours, we see that we've gotten to very low levels, which is very beneficial. Positive immunological effect has been also researched on patients with pneumonia in the acute stage, and here the study looked at the significant enhancement of EIL-1 and its receptor antagonists. Here we see on the left IL-1 beta and the RAIL-1 beta on the right. And on the left again the bar in bright red shows you the effect or the state without the Aquatone, and on the right a significant improvement in this condition with the Aquatone. In both cases it is a significant increase, as you can see, from 200% to 400, for example, so doubling the immunological effect in on the left and then on the right as well. Another study looked at the immunological effects on patients with pneumonia in the chronic stage. Here again they looked at IL-8 in this case and IL-10, and again you can see a very nice improvement in the immunological system in the patients. More chronic pneumonia data. Here they looked at normalization of the leukocytes and the level of C-reactive protein after 10 to 12 days, 14 to 17 days, and after 23 days. And we can see throughout the range a significant improvement that gets even higher as time progresses. In the end, we are almost at 97% with the Aquatone, whereby without the Aquatone we would be only at about 93%. More data on the research conducted on the respiratory system. After 10 days, we saw here in this study a restoration of the basic clinical and laboratory signs of acute pneumonia that has been investigated. A significantly reduced intensity of the coughing that is accompanying pneumonia in this case, and a general improvement of in the health condition of the patients as well. And here are the bars showing the significant results. On the left without the AQUATONE, of course, again, and on the right the results with the AQUATONE. But what about other illnesses like arthrosis, for example? Do we have any data there? And indeed, yes, research has been conducted also on arthrosis. In this case, we saw a significant reduction in the pain already on the second day, reduced swelling and restored the joint mobility. And here in this graph, you can see it after 1, 2, 5, and 10 weeks, where they compare the placebo to the AQUATONE, and especially after 2 to 5 weeks, we see a significant difference between the placebo results and the AQUATONE. And here a study looked at positive results or the effects that the AQUATONE can have on arthritis. After 1 week, they were more or less the same, as the body needs some time to realign itself and to start its self-healing power. So after 2 weeks already, we saw a significant difference between the placebo that was administered and the AQUATONE, which is again a very nice result. But AQUATONE has also been proven to help with swelling of the extremities after surgery. Here we see the number of recovered patients that this clinical study looked at, and they treated one part of the patients, or one group, with the magnetotherapy and the other one with the AQUATONE. And we can see that the results with the AQUATONE were significantly better, so less swelling, or the swelling went away much faster with the AQUATONE therapy, even faster than with the magnetotherapy that is already beneficial. But enough data for now. Let's look at how easy the AQUATONE is also to use. As you can see, it has only 4 buttons: modulation setting, a level setting, an on-off button, and a start-stop button with 6 LEDs that indicate the top 3 indicate the level of modulation or the mode that you are in, and the bottom ones indicate the level that you've set. It's very self-explanatory, and we're going to go into detail a little bit now, but just so you can have an overview here, the level and mode buttons to select the desired mode for the therapy. Then the selected mode is of course indicated by LEDs. To begin the session, you just press the start stop button, and after 10 minutes the session ends automatically and a beep sound can be heard. It is also possible to end or start the session manually by pressing the start stop button or the on off button. So very self-explanatory and easy to use, and we're going to show you in detail how to select the modes, which modes to apply for which condition, and much more in the next slide. So here you can see how you set a level. Here you press on the level button, and it's cycling through the levels 1, 2, 3. As you can see here, the left LED, the orange one, indicates level 1. The level 2 one is in the middle, of course, and level 3 on the right. Very easy to understand. And then you set the mode. And here again we have, well, theoretically 3 modes, but there are actually 6 of them. There is mode 1, that is indicated by the left green LED on the top. Then mode 2 by the second green LED on the top, and then mode 3, of course, by the third LED. But then we have also a combination, mode 1, 2, that is indicated by the 2 LEDs lighting up together, the green ones, of course. And the mode 1, 3 we also have, where, of course, the 2 LEDs are showing you by lighting up together that you are in this mode. And then we have mode 2, 3, again, very easily and nicely indicated on the device by the two corresponding LEDs lighting up. So let's see what those modes are for. It's very simple to understand. Mode 1 is only for acute health conditions like pain, burning, fatigue, etc. Mode 2 is especially for the blood circulation and chronic and inflammatory disease, but it is also applicable to the whole body. It works in the delta brainwave range and therefore has also a relaxing effect. Mode 3, you can use it as frequently as you like. It balances the whole body. It has a calming effect and can therefore be applied especially in the evenings for all kinds of health problems, and it works in the alpha brainwave range. And then we have mode 1+2. This one activates the body. It strengthens and increases the body's effectiveness. It's good for diseases of the muscles and skeletal system, but also has a stimulating effect on the whole body and is therefore good for depression and fatigue, as it works in the beta brainwave range. Next we have mode 1+3. This is for problems with your inner organs like intestines, stomach, kidney, liver, etc. It's also good for rehabilitating the body after extreme stress, as it works in the theta brainwave range. And last but not least, we have the sixth mode, which is mode 2+3. Those are slower frequencies to improve the body's adjustment capabilities in extreme psychological and physical situations, so stress, but also for tiredness and difficulties waking up. So after you understood those modes, you can start applying them very easily, and we're going to give you now some real-life examples on how to use those modes. But first, let's go into some general rules about the modes. So first of all, the modes and their meaning we showed you before. You can apply them just like that, but of course everybody is slightly different. So try the different modes, play a little bit around with it. There is only two rules that you have to remember: that you should use mode 1 only for acute conditions, and mode 1+2 should not be used in the evening, as it has an invigorating effect. Apart from those two basic rules, you can just play around with the different modes and try them out. There are no side effects that have been ever recorded with this device, and everybody is slightly different. So you are free to just go out and try it out. And if the modes, of course, they are explained much more in depth in the handbook. But if you shouldn't find your condition in the handbook, there is a very simple rule of thumb. You just begin with the problem area and then follow up with the general treatment zones. And those general treatment zones are always beneficial, and they are more or less your main chakras, which is the forehead, the thymus. This is good for your immune system, the solar plexus for your nervous system. Beneath the navel there is a chakra which energizes the whole body, and at the back of the head we activate a brain function that controls all organs, and the kidneys and the adrenal gland regions, as the kidneys regulate the water balance and the adrenals regulate the important hormones. So those 6 areas you can always treat regardless of your condition, just for maintaining health. And next we're going to look at some real-life examples of conditions, and with which mode you have to treat them, for how long, and you will see that it's all very straightforward and easy to understand, and you don't need any assistance. It's quick, and yeah, let's go through them. So there are some applications that are always beneficial, even though you don't have a specific illness there, which is, for example, you should always purge your lymphatic system regularly. This is very simple. You go with mode 1+3 on your collarbones for 10 minutes each side, as you can see also in the picture on the right. Then afterwards you take mode 3 for the back of your head to activate your brain that controls all organs and the lymphatic system, of course. And then, continuing with mode 3, you go on to the 7th vertebra. And this you do once per day for 7 days, and that should purge your lymphatic system. It is also recommended to do a regular purging of the liver. This is again very easy to do. You take mode 1+3 and put the device on your liver for 10 minutes. Then with the same mode 1+3 you go on the liver reflection area at the right shoulder as indicated in the picture. And then of course you follow it up by mode 3 at the back of the head as it controls all organs again. This you do for once per day for 7 days again, and this will keep your liver nice and fit. Another purging that is always recommended is that of the kidneys, as they always clean our system, of course. Very simple again, the application. You select mode 1+3 and you go on both kidneys 10 minutes each side, and then with mode 3 you always follow up on the back of the head to regulate also your brain. You do this once per day for 7 days, and there you go, your kidneys will always remain in perfect health. So after we've looked at some general conditions and some purgings that you should regularly do to maintain your health, let's look at some specific health conditions that you can treat with this device and how you do it. High blood pressure, for example, you take a level 1, 2 or 3 for 15 to 20 minutes. The number of the sessions per day should be 1 or 2 sessions, and the number of sessions until the treatment is finished should be 8 to 10 sessions only. You do 5 minutes for each zone of the kidneys, and then you follow up again 10 minutes on the back of the head. And very simple again, and in the handbook we show you with pictures like that everything you need to know about the application of this device. As you can see already, it's very straightforward. It doesn't take a lot of time. You don't need any assistance or help with it. It's really nice to use. You can also use it for recovering after a heart attack. Again, here you see the exposure modes or the levels. So you take level 1 and 2 and mode 1 or 3. Exposure time is 15 to 20 minutes again. The number of sessions per day is again 1 or 2 sessions, and after 6 to 10 sessions you should be fine again. Here you can see it also very nicely indicated on the human body where you have to apply the device. 2 to 10 minutes for each zone, 1 on the back of the head and 1 in the solar plexus region. Very simple again to use and follow up on the instructions in the handbook. And as we said, if you don't find your particular health condition in the handbook, don't worry, you just start with the affected area and follow up with the back of the head, and you will always work out like this. Here we look at liver problems. We looked already at the purging of the liver, but let's say we have a specific liver problem. Again, level 1 or 2, and you go into mode 3 or 1+3. 10 to 20 minutes treatment time, 1 to 2 sessions per day, and about 20 to 30 sessions. You should see a significant improvement in your liver problems. Of course, it's the application is, as you can see in the picture, on the liver, and we always recommend to follow up with the back of the head to stimulate and then align also like your brain function that controls all organs, of course. With kidney problems, it's again the same as we've seen already, also like with the kidney purging. You apply 10 minutes each side to each side of each kidney. You apply the device for 10 minutes each. Level 1 or 2, you go into mode 1. Again, 1 to 2 sessions per day, and it should take only 10 to 14 sessions. If you have a chronic form of disease, this is for acute, then you take also level 1, 2 and mode 1+3. Again, 1 to 2 sessions and about 20 to 30 sessions in total should get you just fine. pancreas problems, for example, also. You apply the device again on your pancreas, and we recommend always that you follow up by the back of the head. You take level 1 or 2 in mode 1 or 3 after mode 3 after the 7th day in this case. Again, 10 to 20 minutes, 1 to 2 sessions per day, and after 20 to 30 sessions, you should be fine again. As we've mentioned already, it helps also like with drowsiness and fatigue and depressions. Here you take level 1 or 2 and mode 3 or 2 plus 3. 10 to 15 minutes again, once or twice a day. And after 2 to 4 sessions, you should see a definite relief. The areas are shown in the picture on the right, of course, back of the head, and the 2 areas above your shoulders. 5 minutes for each of the 3 zones, and of course the solar plexus in the front, we should not forget. In this case, also 5 minutes. Very simple again and straightforward, doesn't take a lot of time. It's non-intrusive, you just hold the device onto these areas. You select the mode, of course, before, and the level, the intensity, and that's all. The device has also proven itself in fighting allergies. Here you select level 1 or 2 again, and you go into mode 1 or 1 plus 3, 10 minutes, twice a day, 8 to 12 sessions. You see the areas indicated again here, the nasal area and then the back of the head. And this should help you get rid of your allergies. And there are many, many more applications. The handbook is full of them, and all of them are explained in this nice visual fashion, so you can follow up easily on the instructions, of course. If you have any questions, you can always call us up, of course. We love to hear from you. We love to give you advice and hear about your experiences. The general rules of thumb we gave you already, so if the indication should not exist in your handbook, then you just apply to the affected area and then you follow with the back of the head. You can always treat the general areas that we've mentioned already to maintain health. So it's a very straightforward product. It's battery driven, of course. You don't need to be plugged into any mains. You can use it on your business trip or whenever it is necessary. You can give it also like to apply it on your pets, of course. Just experiment around with it. It's a very easy device that has no negative side effects. It's non-intrusive. No negative sensations accompanied with this kind of treatment, and as we've seen already in the studies before, it's highly successful in treating all kind of diseases. And I hope we were able to show you, it's very, very effective as well. It's been proven actually by many scientific studies. So time for conclusions. It's a highly efficient holistic therapy device, as we've been able to show you, I hope. Very straightforward in its therapy. It's user-friendly and can be used by doctors as well as patients by themselves. It's very versatile. It improves significantly many health conditions in a very short period of time. As it acts directly on water molecules, it can be used for all living beings. It reestablishes in seconds an almost perfect molecular symmetry. As we've seen in the nice snowflake pictures at the beginning, it's very affordable, only a couple hundred of dollars, and the healing effects have been proven in studies. Studied in many renowned universities and medical institutes, such as Harvard, Caroline Institute, etc. Studies are also still ongoing, so there is more and more research coming in and results. So we recommend that you buy and use Aquatone for your family, your friends, your patients, your pets. You cannot go wrong with this device. It's amazing. And as always, thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, comments, you need more information, whatever it might be, we welcome your calls, toll free at 1-888-773-3196. Visit us at shop@lyranara.com or www.lyranara.com. Of course, we like always to hear from you, and if you've enjoyed this presentation, like, subscribe, share with your friends, spread the news about this amazing device. It's unique in the world, and you can only get it at lyranara.com. So hope to hear from you, and until next time, stay healthy.